Hi, this is Ian from sniptoit.com, and in this video I'm going to show you some tips to help you get great results using puff iron-on with a Cricut EasyPress. So puff vinyl is having a moment right now, and you can see that it's a really fun, dimensional looking HTV product. When you get a really nice smooth result, it's really cool. But I read a lot of people lamenting that their results don't match their expectations. And that's completely normal. While puff is super cool, it's also one of the most variable HTV products that I've ever worked with. Even the companies that manufacture it will caution you to expect unique results every time you use it. Now, before I even filmed this tutorial, I did a ton of testing. There are key factors that will have an effect on how your puff turns out. I'm going to be pointing those out as we go along in this tutorial. I'm going to show you 3 different brands of Puff HTV pressed a couple of different ways. The Siser EasyPuff in 3 different colors, I pressed directly on the fabric. WALAKut Puff here, I pressed it both directly on the fabric and on a StripFlock Pro base layer. And then FashionFlex Puff from Specialty Materials, this is applied completely on a StripFlock Pro base. When you use StripFlock Pro as a base layer for Puff HTV, you'll get a smoother result. You'll get more dimensionality to make your puff puffier, but you're going to be sacrificing some flexibility because the StripFlock is in itself a stiff material. I'll show you how to get the very best results using puff and your EasyPress. Here's what I'm going to use in this video. I've got my blanks here, I've got kids shirts here, I've got my puff vinyl here, and I'm using 3 different brands. I've got Siser EasyPuff in white, yellow, and neon yellow. This is what Siser calls yellow, even though it is unmistakably orange. I've also got WALAKut in neon blue. I've got FashionFlex Puff from Specialty Materials in lilac. I'm also going to be pressing on Siser StripFlock Pro. I'm going to be showing you how to use this as a base layer to help the texture of your puff vinyl. And then I've got a brayer and a squeegee to just help me apply everything securely to the mat, the Cricut mat here. I've got my weeding tool here, and I use a pair of Tweezerman pointed tweezers. When we move into pressing, I'm going to be showing you how to apply Puff HTV using a Cricut EasyPress. I've also got some heat-resistant tape to just keep all the vinyl in place. You can find the project design links in the video description below. I'm just going to give you a quick tip here before we start cutting. All the puff vinyl we have here, the carrier side, the side that goes down on your mat, this is actually the non-shiny side. You can see the carrier side is matte, and the adhesive side that you cut, that's actually shiny. So with puff vinyl, you're going to be going opposite of the rule everyone tells you, where they say put the shiny side down, cut dull side up. That does not apply. We have to do the opposite when we're cutting puff. They all have to be put matte side down, shiny side up to cut. Now we're still going to mirror the cut. Because it has a matte carrier, it is not going to stick very easily to your mat. At least that's what I've found. You can see it kind of curls up the edges. I just tape it down along the top edge and along the side edge when I'm going to be cutting. And let's just take a quick recap of what we're going to press. This is the FashionFlex Puff. This is the white StripFlock Pro layer it's going to go on. This is the WALAKut Puff in blue, and that is also going on a white StripFlock layer. And we've got our Siser EasyPuff here in neon yellow, regular yellow, which is orange, and then we've got it in white. I'm getting ready to press my first shirt. In this project, I'm going to be using a Siser EasyPuff in a single layer. I've got my carrier sheet cut nice and close to the HTV so it doesn't overlap. What I have found, I get the best results for Puff HTV when I press on a hard surface. In this case, I'm going to be pressing on my tabletop. I've got an oven liner protector sheet underneath. For most of you, I understand that this is probably not going to be practical. Either your tabletop is not going to be heat resistant or you're just not going to want to do it that way. You can use a wooden cutting board instead and just slide it into the garment like you would a pressing mat. I'm not going to be using a Teflon cover sheet, so I'm just going to go over this with a lint roller, and then I'm going to press the wrinkles out of it, and then I'm going to get started. So I'm just going to line my design up here on this shirt. The most important thing when pressing is I just want to stay clear of this neck seam and the arm seams here. My 9x9 press is going to cover this design and fit in between the seams. Pressing over a seam can really throw off your pressure when you're using an EasyPress. Okay, so all the vinyl is laid out on the shirt and it's all taped down, everything's in position. I'm going to be pressing this for 310 degrees for 10 seconds. So for Siser EasyPuff, the recommended temperature is 280 degrees, but Siser also says add 30 degrees when using an EasyPress. So I've tested it both at 280 and 310, which is with 30 degrees, and I found that I get better results when I add the 30 degrees. So I'm pressing at 310 for 10 seconds. This is going to be using firm pressure. I'm putting a lot of my own body weight on this. I'm going to be pressing on this hard surface for 10 seconds. I want to be most mindful of not overlapping this seam in the neck and then these seams in the arms. This is a hot peel. Our results are a little inconsistent. You can see that we are getting some bubbling here and some bubbling along the top, but the rest of the duck actually has nice puffy texture. You can see close up just how nice that texture is on the top part here, and you can see on the bottom where there was no layer underneath, it's showing the texture of the garment, and that's always a factor that you have to consider when you're pressing puff. But when you press on something like StripFlock Pro, you're going to get a really nice smooth puff. That is some intense puff. That's really what you want. When we made the duck shirt in the first part of this video, I had this bumpy result here in the white puff. There was a bit of bumpiness along the top and along the bottom. Now, overall, I still think that this is a really good result. The puff in the body and in the beak was really good. This bumpy texture in the bubbles, that bugged me. I don't know exactly what was going on with this white when we pressed it directly on the fabric. To be honest with you, we pressed it on 4 different shirts and we got this result time and time again. And so I actually remade this shirt, and the way we solved this is basically by pressing it on StripFlock Pro. This is one thing that you can do that is really basic and really straightforward to get dramatically improved results with your puff. If it's wrinkling, is just press it on StripFlock Pro.